NEC 370.29 addresses the installation and accessibility of recessed lighting fixtures, also known as luminaires. The specific section does not explicitly prohibit the pre-installation and wiring of downlight cans that are subsequently covered with sheetrock. However, it does stipulate that all recessed luminaires must remain accessible from below the ceiling without necessitating the removal of permanent building components. The key concept here is accessibility. The intent of the electrical code is to ensure that electrical components, including recessed lighting fixtures, can be inspected, maintained, and repaired without causing undue disruption to the building structure. When a downlight can is concealed behind sheetrock, it effectively becomes inaccessible from below. This condition directly contradicts the requirement outlined in NEC 370.29. Therefore, covering a pre-installed and wired downlight can with sheetrock constitutes a violation of the code. The reason for this accessibility requirement stems from several factors. Firstly, it allows for routine inspections to identify potential hazards such as loose connections, overheating, or insulation damage. Secondly, it facilitates necessary repairs or replacements of the fixture itself, the wiring connections, or the lamp. Thirdly, it ensures that modifications or upgrades can be performed without significant demolition work. The term permanent parts of the building refers to structural elements such as walls, ceilings, floors, and load-bearing members. Removing sheetrock, even though it may seem like a relatively minor task, is considered removing a permanent part of the building because it is an integral component of the ceiling structure. To comply with NEC 370.29, the recessed luminaire must be accessible through a readily openable access panel or trim ring that allows for inspection and maintenance. This access should not require the use of tools or the removal of screws or other fasteners that would be considered permanent. In the scenario where a downlight can has been sheetrocked over, there are a few possible remedies. Firstly, the sheetrock can be carefully cut around the perimeter of the downlight can to create an access opening. The opening should be large enough to allow for easy access to the wiring connections and the fixture itself. A trim ring or access panel can then be installed to cover the opening and provide a finished appearance. Secondly, if the downlight can is not needed or desired, it can be disconnected and removed completely. The wiring should be properly capped off and insulated, and the opening in the ceiling should be patched and repaired. It is important to note that all electrical work should be performed by a qualified and licensed electrician to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. In addition to NEC 370.29, there may be other code requirements that apply to recessed lighting installations. These requirements may include provisions for fire rating, insulation clearance, and grounding. It is essential to consult the latest edition of the National Electrical Code and any local amendments to ensure that all installations are in full compliance. When planning a recessed lighting installation, it is crucial to consider the accessibility requirements from the outset. The location of the fixture should be carefully chosen to ensure that they can be easily accessed for inspection and maintenance. It is also important to select fixtures that are designed for easy access, such as those with removable trim rings or access panels. Furthermore, it is advisable to consult with a qualified electrician during the planning stages to ensure that the installation meets all applicable code requirements. The National Electrical Code is a comprehensive set of standards that governs the safe installation of electrical wiring and equipment. It is updated every 3 years to reflect the latest advancements in technology and safety practices. The purpose of the NEC is to protect people and property from electrical hazards. Compliance with the NEC is mandatory in most jurisdictions. Failure to comply with the NEC can result in fines, penalties, and even legal action. In addition to the NEC, there may be local codes and regulations that apply to electrical installations. These local codes may be more stringent than the NEC. It is important to consult with the local building department to determine the specific requirements that apply in your area. Electrical work can be dangerous. It is essential to take precautions to protect yourself from electrical shock. Always turn off the power before working on any electrical circuit. Use insulated tools and wear rubber gloves. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician. Recessed lighting can be a beautiful and energy-efficient way to illuminate a space. However, it is important to install recessed lighting properly to ensure safety and compliance with the electrical code. By following the guidelines outlined in NEC 370.29 and consulting with a qualified electrician, you can ensure that your recessed lighting installation is safe, code compliant, and aesthetically pleasing. Remember that electrical codes are in place to protect individuals and property from harm. By adhering to these codes, you contribute to a safer environment for yourself and others. The information provided here is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional electrical advice. Always consult with a qualified and licensed electrician before performing any electrical work. In summary, while NEC 370.29 doesn't explicitly forbid pre-wiring and covering downlight cans, the requirement for accessibility from below without removing permanent building parts makes sheetrocking over them a violation. Accessibility is crucial for inspections, maintenance, and repairs. Remedies include creating access openings with trim rings or removing the fixture entirely and patching the ceiling. Always consult a qualified electrician for safe and code-compliant electrical work. The National Electrical Code's purpose is to safeguard people and property from electrical dangers, so compliance is vital. Local codes might have stricter requirements, so check with the local building department. Safety should always be a priority when working with electricity. Therefore, take necessary precautions and seek professional help when needed. This guidance is for informational purposes and does not substitute advice from licensed electricians. The need for accessibility to electrical components is paramount in ensuring the longevity and safety of electrical systems. Concealing electrical fixtures behind permanent building materials not only violates code but also creates potential hazards that may go undetected for extended periods. Regular inspections and maintenance are essential for identifying and addressing issues such as loose connections, damaged wiring, or malfunctioning components. Without easy access to these fixtures, such problems may escalate into more serious safety risks, including electrical fires or shocks. Furthermore, advancements in lighting technology are constantly evolving. What is considered state-of-the-art today may become obsolete in a few years. By maintaining accessibility to recessed lighting fixtures, homeowners and building managers can easily upgrade to newer, more energy-efficient, or aesthetically pleasing options without incurring significant demolition costs. This flexibility allows for adaptation to changing needs and preferences while ensuring that the electrical system remains up to date and compliant with current standards. In addition to the technical aspects of code compliance and safety, there is also an economic consideration to be made. While it may seem like a minor inconvenience to cut an access hole in the sheetrock or install a removable trim ring, the long-term benefits of accessibility far outweigh the initial costs. Avoiding code violations can prevent costly fines and penalties. Furthermore, easy access to fixtures can reduce maintenance and repair expenses by allowing for quicker and more efficient troubleshooting and repairs. In the event of a malfunction, a readily accessible fixture can be diagnosed and repaired much faster than one that is concealed behind a wall or ceiling. This can minimize downtime and prevent further damage to the electrical system. When planning a new construction or renovation project, it is essential to consider the long-term implications of electrical design choices. While aesthetics and cost are important factors, they should not come at the expense of safety and code compliance. By prioritizing accessibility and working with qualified electrical professionals, homeowners and building managers can create electrical systems that are both functional and safe. The process of ensuring code compliance for recessed lighting involves several steps. Firstly, it is essential to consult the latest edition of the National Electrical Code and any applicable local amendments. These documents provide detailed guidelines for the installation, wiring, and accessibility of recessed lighting fixtures. Secondly, it is crucial to select fixtures that are listed and labeled by a recognized testing laboratory, such as Underwriters Laboratories or Intertech. These listings indicate that the fixtures have been tested and certified to meet safety standards. Thirdly, it is necessary to ensure that the wiring and installation methods comply with the requirements of the NEC. This includes using the correct wire gauge, making proper connections, and providing adequate grounding. Fourthly, it is important to provide adequate clearance between the fixture and any combustible materials, such as insulation or wood framing. This clearance helps to prevent overheating and reduce the risk of fire. Finally, it is essential to provide easy access to the fixture for inspection and maintenance. This can be accomplished by installing a removable trim ring or access panel. In addition to the specific requirements for recessed lighting, there are also general electrical safety practices that should be followed when working with electricity. These practices include turning off the power before working on any electrical circuit, using insulated tools, wearing rubber gloves, and avoiding working in wet or damp conditions. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is always best to hire a qualified electrician. The role of a qualified electrician in ensuring code compliance cannot be overstated. Electricians have the knowledge, skills, and experience to install electrical systems safely and in accordance with all applicable codes and regulations. They can also provide valuable advice on electrical design and help to ensure that your electrical system meets your needs and preferences. When hiring an electrician, it is important to choose someone who is licensed and insured. Licensing indicates that the electrician has met certain educational and experience requirements and has passed a competency exam. Insurance protects you from liability in the event of an accident or injury. It is also a good idea to check references and read online reviews before hiring an electrician. This can help you to get a sense of their reputation and the quality of their work. In conclusion, while the initial question focused on NEC 370.29 and the permissibility of covering a pre-wired downlight cam with sheetrock, the broader implications extend to the critical importance of accessibility in electrical installations. Accessibility ensures safety, facilitates maintenance and repairs, allows for future upgrades, and promotes compliance with electrical codes. By understanding these principles and working with qualified professionals, homeowners and building managers can create electrical systems that are both safe and functional. The accessibility requirements in electrical codes are not arbitrary rules. They are based on years of experience and a deep understanding of the potential hazards associated with electricity. These requirements are designed to protect people and property from harm. By adhering to these requirements, we can all contribute to a safer environment. The advancement of technology continues to shape the landscape of electrical systems and lighting. As new products and techniques emerge, it is crucial to stay informed and adapt our practices to ensure continued safety and compliance. The National Electrical Code is constantly evolving to reflect these advancements, and it is our responsibility to stay abreast of these changes. By embracing innovation while maintaining a steadfast commitment to safety, we can harness the power of electricity to improve our lives while minimizing the risks. It is also worth noting that the specific requirements of NEC 370.29 may vary depending on the jurisdiction. Local amendments to the NEC can add or modify requirements to address specific local conditions or concerns. It is therefore essential to consult with the local building department to determine the exact requirements that apply in your area. This ensures that your electrical installations are not only compliant with the NEC but also with any applicable local regulations. The information provided here is intended as a general guide and should not be considered a substitute for professional electrical advice. Always consult with a qualified and licensed electrician before performing any electrical work. They can provide specific guidance based on your individual circumstances and ensure that your electrical installations are safe and compliant with all applicable codes and regulations. By working together, we can create electrical systems that are both functional and safe, contributing to a better quality of life for all. The principles of electrical safety extend beyond the specific requirements of NEC 370.29. They encompass a broader understanding of the nature of electricity and the potential hazards associated with its use. Electricity is a powerful force that can cause serious injury or death if not handled properly. It is therefore essential to treat electricity with respect and to take precautions to protect yourself from electrical shock. Some basic electrical safety tips include never touching electrical wires or equipment with wet hands, avoiding overloading electrical circuits, using ground fault circuit interrupters in wet locations, and having your electrical system inspected regularly by a qualified electrician. By following these simple tips, you can significantly reduce your risk of electrical injury. The importance of electrical safety cannot be overstated. Electrical accidents can have devastating consequences, not only for the individuals involved, but also for their families and communities. By taking the time to learn about electrical safety and to follow safe practices, we can all help to prevent these tragedies. Electrical safety is a shared responsibility. It is up to each of us to do our part to ensure that electricity is used safely and responsibly. By working together, we can create a world where everyone is protected from the hazards of electricity.